Look, it's easy to be distracted right now, I guess is my point. It's easy to be distracted by everything going on. And here we are. We're almost at the end of the first quarter of 2025. And so I just think it's a great time to ask yourself, am I on track with the goals that I set for 2025? How are things tracking so far for you? I still believe wholeheartedly that 2025 is going to be an improvement over 2024. We talked about this, right? Probably at least a 15% improvement, but I think there's that outside chance that there's something that happens in 2025 that is a catalyst for a pretty significant move in interest rates. I don't know that for sure. I wouldn't bank on it, but I would be prepared for it. And so as I think about our goals for 2025, I hope that those goals include being prepared if there is something that triggers, much lower interest rates. Because look, with all this chaos, with all these things going on, it's very possible that that something like that happens. So that's my question to you. How are your goals looking for 2025? It's the end of the first quarter. It's time to check in. Now would be a good time to make sure you're on track. Is part of that plan a plan for what happens when rates drop, right? How's your database doing? How connected are you with the people in your database? We talked about this back in November of last year when rates dipped, about reaching out and setting the stage with all of your clients. You guys, that shouldn't be over. That activity should still be happening. If you had those people that missed that opportunity back in November, it's right now is a good time to follow up with them and say, look, rates still haven't come down yet, but there's lots of things going on in the market that indicate to us that it very well may start to improve, right? You can reference the jobs numbers that came out the first week of March, right? We had a soft jobs report, and I think there's going to be many more soft job reports coming. There's really no question in my mind that that's going to happen, at least in the short term. I think that inflation numbers just this week were softer, right? And we'll see what happens with PCE, but the CPI was a softer read, came in under expectations. All of these are good facts in talking to our clients that we're moving in the right direction, getting them prepared for what is that right trigger for them to be able to take advantage of a dip in interest rates. You should be working on that. How's your call activity? Are you allowing the chaos that's happening in the world around us to distract you from making your sales calls? Are you tracking your sales calls? Do you even know how many sales calls you made last week or last month? You should absolutely be intentional about that. How's your realtor activity? Have you checked in with your realtors recently? Do you have a goal in 2025 to add new realtors to your business? If that goal is to add 20 new realtors that you're in relationship with doing business, have you already added 5 in the first quarter of the year? Are you on track? What does that look like? So these are things that I would be revisiting right now in my business. How's your networking activity? Are you out? Are you social? Man, I'm telling you, in this post-COVID world that we're in, I'm talking to people that are hosting events, going to events, and it's packed. People want to be out. People want to be connected with people. This is a theme in 2025. So if you stopped doing those things, have you started to re-engage? Do you have a plan to re-engage in 2025 in your networking, in making sure that people in the world, in your market, know who you are and what you do for a living? That's part of your job. That's our responsibility. So how's that activity doing? How are your health goals? Did you set health goals, when we turned over the first of the year? And are you on track with those? Have you fallen off of track with those? We did a phenomenal episode about health and mindfulness and how important it is to those of us in the mortgage and real estate space. So are you on track with that?